Hello, Wildcats and Wildcat parents. Welcome to the USD 244 Activity Program's Fall Parent Coach Meeting. I apologize that this is virtual, but under the circumstances we're dealing, this is the way we're going to have to do it. Not going to take a lot of your time, just want to cover some information that's pertinent to the upcoming season. In this meeting, we will cover introductions of our high school coaches, the athletics purpose, general items that need to be covered, some policy things dealing with Activities Association and USD 244, handbook items, just recovering substance abuse and random drug testing since those were new last year, communication guidelines, and of course, changes and things that are happening with the COVID situation we're dealing with. High school coaches for this year. For cross country, Julie Dawson and Bart Kuhlman will be co-head coaches. They will be assisted by Michael Vanderlinden. For football, John Petrie, head coach, Tim Johnson, Justin Logan, Blake Higgins, assistants. For volleyball, Diane Marshall, head coach, Kathy Freeman, Morgan Stout will assist her. And then for cheer, Michelle Vanderlinden, head coach, and Mercedes Landis will be her assistant. Those are our coaches here at the high school for the fall. Why student activities? You can look through all those, as those are just a partial list of everything that activities do for our kids. The one I want to hit on is the increased academic performance. At Burlington High School, kids involved in activities score at about 3/4 of a GPA point higher than those not involved. Again, just gives them some belonging, gives them something to adhere to, and makes them a part of something more than just being a general student from 8 to 3. 5 core values we expect our coaches to implement within their program, practice, games, things of that nature: respect, responsibility, integrity, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. Again, we're trying to develop a well-rounded individual that goes well beyond Burlington High School. Our general items: physical. Again, kids participating in athletic events must have a physical on file with the office here before they may participate. That includes practice. So August 17th, we have first day of practice. If your student athlete does not have a physical on file, they will not be allowed to practice. Make sure all signatures are complete on the physical, signed by doctor or DO with the check box cleared for activities. Then there's several places for parent and student participant to sign. Medical consent, form that occurs with the physical, just need to have that filled out and also signed by participant and parent guardian. And then concussion awareness, please review that. Again, we've had that form for several years now. We need it signed by participant and parent guardian. COVID questionnaire, I will cover that in the COVID section, but again, it needs to be completed. Medical items, asthma, allergies. If your student suffers from things that they may need an inhaler or Benadryl or something like that at practice for their safety, please make sure that's communicated with our school nurse, Lori Herman, and then also communicated with our coaching staff. If they do need an inhaler, if you can provide a second inhaler, we'll get it labeled with the student's name, place it in a bag in our med kit so it's on hand if needed. Injuries, unfortunately, they're bound to happen in athletics. Our coaches do an outstanding job on working at preventing injuries and teaching safe and proper techniques. If there's things that we can do to help, bumps, bruises, soreness, have your student athlete communicate with the coach, and we'll do some rehab and treatment here. If they do need to see a doctor, and that doctor deems that they need to sit out for a while, make sure we receive that doctor's note, and then they also have to have a doctor's note to release them to be reinstated for participation. Again, communication with our coaches is essential. Communication guidelines, those are on the handbook that's on the district website online. If you have, it details some other things that we won't cover in this meeting. Take a look at that. If you have questions, give me a call. Calendar for high school athletics, the calendar is on the website. I want to reiterate that it is subject to change. We don't know how things are going to happen this fall. I'm happy we're playing, but as soon as we know changes, we will get those on the website, get information out to you as fast as possible. The high school and actually all Burlington has a Twitter feed at BTUN244. We try to get information out, scores, updates, things of that nature on that Twitter feed. So if you're interested in subscribing, please do so. Pictures, At the high school, we will have pictures on August 19th. I know that's quick, but in order to get those ready for program, we have to shoot those fairly early. Again, those will be with Kramer Photography. Those will include individuals as well as team. Cell phones, just a reminder, there's no cell phone use in the locker room. Eligibility. Kansas State High School Activities Association has semester eligibility where students must pass 5 classes in order to be eligible for the next semester. USD 244 also has weekly eligibility. Again, it's the same standard, passing 5 subjects each week to ensure eligibility. We run eligibility on Friday, so if a student is ineligible, we let them know Friday, then they're ineligible for the next week. They may practice, they just cannot compete. Rule changes, there haven't been any major significant rule changes coming from the Federation. Coaches will cover those with participants and may cover them if they have independent meeting. Substance abuse policy, it is the same as last year. I just wanted to cover it again since it was new. You can see the first offense for substance abuse and subsequent offenses. We will still be doing random drug testing. Again, you should have received a form in your enrollment packet. Any student wishing to participate in extra or intracurricular activities at the high school must sign off to be a part of the random drug testing policy and process. If you have questions regarding that, please let me know. Competition rules, these are from Kansas State High School Activities Association Handbook. Inside of sport, just a reminder that if your student is participating in a sport here at the high school, they cannot participate in that same sport while the high school sport is going on. For instance, a volleyball player begins their high school season August 17th. They can't do anything volleyball oriented with a rec team, a club team, anything of that nature until their season has concluded. Outside of the sport during the school year, so once volleyball season had ended, they could compete with a rec team or a USVBA team. There are some limitations on the number of kids that can participate. Again, all that information is on the KSHSAA website under the handbook, and you can look those rules up or give me a call if you have questions. The transfer rule, Rule 18, has changed. If a student transfers to a school and does not move into that district, they could be ineligible for a year now. That transfer rule used to be 18 weeks. It is now a year. Again, questions, let me know. And then Rule 14, bona fide student in good standing. Just basically a student who is under penalty of suspension or other administrative action at the school may be deemed ineligible to participate by administration, and that duration is deemed as long as the administration carries that suspension on. Again, that rule's been in place for a long time. If you have any questions, contact me. Our philosophy of play here at the high school, varsity level, those are the most competitive level. We're going to put the best players that allow for the greatest success regardless of their grade. Again, that's that top level. Junior varsity are those kids that may help at the varsity level later on in the year or at the next year. And then our C level is developmental, where kids may not have matured or may not have the skill set that they need, but we want to continue to work with them to try to get them there. Parent role in athletics, the biggest thing, support your athletes, support the team and program. If your student has inappropriate behavior, certainly address that or any concerns of their well-being. Again, we want to make sure that we're providing an opportunity for kids to enjoy themselves within sport and our activity programs. Non-negotiables, these are things that we don't believe are worthy of talking about to our coaches. We hire our coaches to make decisions based on what they deem is best for the program. So those would include playing time, team philosophy or strategy, or other participants. Communication guidelines. Big piece here is we want to try to get things addressed at the lowest level. So the first level is player to coach. Make sure that we want to make sure that that player has met with the coach, they've discussed the issue or concern. If that issue isn't resolved, then certainly we do player, parent, and coach. And then we continue to move down those next levels if necessary. We just want to try to handle things at the lowest level if at all possible. COVID-19 situations. I'm going to tell you this, sports are going to look different this year. The main thing is we're getting an opportunity to play, and that's what I'm most excited about. At enrollment, there was a COVID KSHSA questionnaire. It is not mandatory. It's just extra precaution that we would like each participant to fill out and have to their coach or to the office prior to the first day of practice. Again, it's just one more step to try to make sure that we're mitigating all exposure risks if possible. Next thing, participants must have a mask available for them at events, practice, and competition. This is in accordance with the governor's order. Spectators will be required to wear a mask at events and observe social distancing. Each event will have specific guidelines for masks as it relates to the governor's order. Again, outdoor events are going to be different than indoor events. Just be aware of that. Participants will be temperature screened prior to each practice and competition. Just trying to mitigate exposure and try to make sure that our kids stay safe and that we're able to continue the season. Typically at this point, we'd break out into individual sessions with each activity. I apologize, we won't be able to do that. Coaches will be informed that they can have an independent sport meeting. So football may have a parent meeting, volleyball, cross country, cheer. So they may have independent meetings where it's a smaller group and we can manage the numbers. I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully this wasn't too painful. Very excited to get the kids back and get them involved in activities and get the seasons going. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call here at the high school or shoot me an email. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Want to wish all of our kids good luck. Excited to see you out on the 17th, and let's get this thing going. Thank you very much.